Hello. I just stopped that then because I got a message from my team saying that the video went white. Did everyone have a blank screen then?
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. This has not been pre-recorded. This is a live demonstration. Now, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. This is our first Zoom demo together since 2023 started, which, you know, we are on day 12, so I think we've done quite well to gather us together. We've got about 50 odd people joining tonight, so we're really excited. And what that tells us is that people are excited about the cutter. Now, we called this Meet the Cutter, not knowing if I'd actually have the cutter yet, but I was pretty optimistic and we've got videos, so we just figured we'd wing it. But anyway, it's arrived. So you are actually physically going to see the cutter in my kitchen on your screen. I know that I'm doing this whole Meet the Cutter thing, but I actually know there's quite a few people here tonight who are not Thermomix owners yet. So this is probably us all getting very excited and probably a little bit of an advanced demo for Thermomix owners. However, the Thermomix itself, it's pretty like looking to buy a caravan before you had a car to tow it. So we're aware that there are some people here tonight who are looking at, well, is the Thermomix for me? Now, the dishes that we're doing tonight, as consultants, we got super excited and we chose dishes that had a lot of manual cutting because we know we can do it in the cutter. But there are a lot of amazing dishes. If you don't have a Thermomix and you're looking to save time and save money, there are a lot of amazing, you know, for those who want to save time and get a family meal on the table, there's a lot of one-pot wonders where you pretty much throw it all in and pop dinner on the table. And in fact, that's what my family's had tonight, a one-pot pasta dish. Cook the sauce, throw the pasta in, throw it in a thermo server. It's on the table. They've been helping themselves behind the scenes. So tonight's demo, what we're cooking may or may not be what you're cooking at home, but we will talk a lot about functions. And as I said, we are focusing a lot on, I guess, one or two functions tonight with the cut, the slicing and the grating, but there are a lot of other functions as well. So I just gave you a lot of information then, but I'm super excited. So I've got a couple of other girls presenting with me tonight, so you can't get bored with just me. And like in a lot of Thermomix demonstrations, if you blink, you miss it. So especially with the cutter, literally happens in seconds. So just keep that in mind. Now for the non-owners, just to give you a bit of an idea, the price of the Thermomix is $2,359, and we do have a few different payment options available to you. And one of those is to earn your Thermomix. And I did write in the a question in the registration in relation to, did you know you could get a cutter quicker if you join our team? And a few of you went, I'd like to know more about that. So I will email the people who said yes tomorrow with some information about joining an information session to get that information. So that is one of our best payment options, and then you get everything. But we do have other payment options. So speak to your consultant if you'd like to know more details about all of those. Now, for those who don't know or don't have a TM6 yet, I'm just going to quickly introduce the Thermomix, because the Thermomix really is the star of the show. However, sitting to the side here, special guest appearance, the cutter. So you will see that a little bit later on, but in the interest of time, I have Irene waiting to show you her dish, and excitedly, we're starting with dessert, because who doesn't like starting the meal with dessert? So over to you, Irene, for your delicious tart.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm making a Frangipane tart with some nectarines. Now, unlike Michelle, I don't have the cutter yet, but it's on its way. So I had to cut all of these by hand. So it took me about 10 minutes. And as you'll see in a few minutes, or, you know, through the demo today, Michelle's going to use hers and cut things in seconds. So good luck, Michelle. You know, anyway, I didn't get RSI, so that's not too bad. All right, nectarine tart with, sorry?
Well done.
Yeah, I didn't get RSI. That's okay. All right, so nectarine tart with Frangipane, hazelnut Frangipane. Frangipane is really just like I guess a cake base or a tart base, which can be used any nuts. So I'm using hazelnuts per the recipe. You could use almonds, Brazil nuts. If you've got all these mixed nuts left over, by all means use those as well. The fruit I'm using is obviously the nectarine, but you can swap it out with some beautiful stone fruit at the moment. Got some clingstone peaches. You could use plums. You could definitely use apricots, and it's a dish that you can definitely do in winter with some tinned fruits as well. So I'm going to jump straight in. So with the recipe, essentially it asks you to get some or preheat the oven. My oven doesn't take that long. By the time I put all the fruit on it, I think I'll be right. So basically I bought some creme puff pastry. If I have to choose, I guess you can use the stuff that's in the supermarket, but this stuff is absolutely amazing. So generally available at specialist delis and like Lamana and some of you more specialist fruit places or fruit and veg. So that's the one that I like to use. It's an all butter puff. You can get it in a spelt. There's lots of options with their brand. Essentially, it asks you to roll it out 40 centimeters by 25. That particular packet, all I've done is I have rolled it out just to get it a little bit thinner and to get my 1 centimeter border. So what essentially I've done is I've rolled it out and then I've folded the edge back up. So it creates that 1 centimeter barrier to stop my ingredients from sort of flowing out too far. So that's ready to go. Have that ready, roll it, leave it in the fridge till the last minute. It's on a metal tray, so it's nice and cold for me to pop straight into the oven once I get the Frangipane mixture done. So into my bowl, it asks for 100 grams of toasted or roasted hazelnuts. I think this packet's 120. As you'll know, when I start cooking, I don't worry too much about some of those things. It asks for 80 grams of sugar. I'm using raw sugar, and it's asking for some plain flour. They're both in my bowl. And we're going to mill those for 10 seconds on speed 8.
The sound of silence is the sound of how much money you're saving when she's milling that.
Very, very quick. And for those that are new to Thermomix, beautifully milled hazelnut flour. Okay, to that, from the fridge, I've brought out my diced butter, 100 grams. And there's a little bit of a weird thing in this recipe. It says to add 1 medium egg and 1 beaten egg. So I've done that. I don't know why. So I've got a whole egg in here, 1 beaten egg, and I've got my vanilla extract in there as well. Maybe somebody knows why, but to be honest, I would have just thrown 2 whole eggs in there.
That might be a question for Elaine.
I don't know. That's a weird one. Okay. Vanilla extract. Back with our lid. And this is going to mix for 15 seconds on speed 4. Okay. It's asking me to spread this mixture onto my chilled base. So I just scrape down any bits that have come up. Just give that 2 whirls, maybe 3. And that mixture is quite thick. I'm going to get my spatula, I'm going to get a little offset spatula and do this off camera. Once I've spread that out, I'm literally going to lay a pattern of my nectarines. So if you want to jump to the next person, and we can come back and I'll show you the finished before I pop it into the oven.
Thanks, Irene. Beautiful. That mixture looks delicious. Over to you, Julie. Here we go. Add spotlight. There you are.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julie, and I'm feeling a bit jealous that Irene's making that tart now because, it looks like it's going to be so delicious. But, I'm excited to make mine anyway. So I'm making the potato and rosemary flatbread. And a funny story was I was doing a demo the other day of a customer, and she was telling me about this potato flatbread pizza. And I was like, I've never, ever heard of anything like that. And she said it was really, really good. And then when Michelle's like, let's do a demo about the cutter. I Googled it and it was one of the recipes. So I was like, I need to make this. I feel like I'm missing out. So very excited to make this and see, how we go with it. So I'm going to bring you a little bit closer to my screen first. Okay, so I'm going to click on start cooking. It tells me to place the ball on the mixing lid, which I'm pretty sure this one is asking me to the waxy potatoes. Unlike Michelle, I am also like Irene, had to, hand cut these. So, I mean, it's not too bad, but, honestly, it would have been a lot quicker if I had the cutter. So, I'm just going to say it was very therapeutical to hand cut it, okay, to make myself feel a bit better. All right, so set your bowl aside, and it's just going to ask me to insert the cutter and everything. So I'm not doing that because I don't have mine right now. So I'll click next. And it's cool because it actually tells you if you want it thick or thin. So, I mean, like, it's great that we've got choices. So I'll click next, where we remove that. And now the next one is asking us to place 70 grams of our cheese. Now, it's asking for your Gruyere cheese, but I'm actually using Jarlsberg. So very similar. That's what I wanted. That's all I could get at the shop. So we can replace it. They're very similar. So I'm just going to pop that in. Next, I have pre-weighed a lot of this. So click on next. And for 6 seconds, it's going to ask me to turn the speed selector to 7. Okay. It is very noisy when you do that, though. Hard cheese always sounds quite noisy. Now I'm going to click next. I'm going to show you, but look at that, 6 seconds. I definitely can't do that in six seconds. So it's amazing what the Thermomix can do. It's going to ask me to transfer it to another bowl and set aside, but just to save time, I'm going to get another bowl. And I'm just going to click next. It's going to ask me to add 2 garlic cloves. I've popped 3 garlic cloves just because I like garlic. Okay, so it's guided recipe, but you don't have to follow it to a T. So, you can add a little bit more garlic if you like, or a little bit less. Now, 1 tablespoon of fresh rosemary leaves. Now, a little trick, if you've got any rosemary, if you're finding, like, how do you remove the leaves? The easiest way is to grab it and just slide it down like so. And there you go. It's the only herb that I don't seem to kill at home. All right. Click on next. And now that's just going to grate it all together. So for 3 seconds on speed 7 again. That smells really, really good. Look at that. And I used to always think that if it's only 2 garlic, can the blades actually cut it? But I mean, the blades are so powerful that it doesn't matter if it's 2, 3 garlics, it cuts it very nice and fine. I'm just going to scrape that down. Okay. And then when I click on next, it's going to ask me to add 30 grams of olive oil. Okay. Now, the TM6 has 1 gram increments for the scale. So if you're like me, I'm a little bit of a oops when it comes to, cooking. I'm normally a few grams over or under, so it doesn't bother me too much. Okay, so I'll pop my simmering basket instead of a measuring cup. Click on next, and then now for 3 minutes, it's actually going to saute the rosemary and garlic together, which I can't wait to smell it. So I don't know if you want to go back to someone else, and you can come back to me later.
Perfect. Thank you, Julie.
Not a problem.
Awesome. Welcome back to my kitchen. So I have chosen to do a Buddha bowl tonight, or a poke bowl. Now, they are very on trend. Put your hand up if you are someone who likes to go out and buy those, or if you're making them at home, and how long does it take? So I chose this because my kids love it. We love it. They're healthy. They're easy, all of that. So I'm going to turn the Thermomix around to, the camera around to my Thermomix screen and just show you this recipe. And also show you a little trick that I learned from going to a lot of cooking classes as a consultant. So once you go into a recipe in the TM6, so this is for the benefit of the non-owners in the room, just wondering what all this is about. So we're accessing all of these recipes via a platform called CookieDoo. Now, CookieDoo is like a Netflix for recipes. So I've got into this recipe here. And when I go down, it gives me some information about the recipe. So the difficulty level is medium. It gives me prep time of 35 minutes, total time of an hour, and 4 portions. Now, don't worry, because I have done some of this in advance. So there's 4 elements to the dish. The boiled rice. Now, this bit I did in advance because for those who, again, new to Thermomix, the boiled rice was pop in some water, olive oil, and some salt, weigh the rice into the basket, and just set it off for 20 minutes. Perfect rice. So that actually then drains and sits in the fridge because this is like your poke bowl is like a rice salad. So we're serving it cold. If you want to serve it hot, you can certainly serve it hot, but this is how this dish is written. Okay, so I've done that step because I figured that no one needed to watch my Thermomix spin around for 20 minutes cooking the rice. So, and the other thing about that is I did it earlier today, set and forget, walked away, it beeped when it was ready, it's sitting in the fridge waiting for me when I need it. So, you know, think about how that sort of thing can save you time in your daily cooking and evening meals. All right, so the next part of this recipe is the shredded chicken. So I'm actually going to do that part next because I felt that there was a lot of value in showing you that because when you say to people, you can cook your chicken and shred it in your Thermomix, they're like, whoa. So it's proper shredding as if you've pulled it apart with a couple of forks. So coming back here, I'm just popping my head in there just so you know I'm still here. So because of that, I can actually just tap on this part of the recipe and go straight into that bit that I want to see. So bringing the camera back so you can see me pop things in. So it's 30 grams of soy sauce, 10 grams of sesame oil, and 250 grams of chicken. So I've actually got all that again in our demos. In the interest of time, we like to have these things ready to go. So I'm actually just going to pop that whole lot in there. Don't you love the smell of sesame oil? Now I have used tonight, that up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I have actually used gluten-free soy sauce as well. So, and again, that's just personal preference. So I often find, especially when I'm catering these days, there are so many people who are gluten-free that if you, and something as little as that can be the difference between them not being able to have the dish that you've made. So now it's pop the lid on, pop the simmering basket on top, which I'll have to grab because it's in the dishwasher, and press next. So that's another thing for all of you non-owners out there, all goes in the dishwasher. How cool is that? And it's just 8 minutes, 100 degrees on reverse. Now the reverse is using the flat or stirring side of the blade. So that means it's not going to mince my chicken while it's cooking it. And then I'm going to shred it at the end. So if I go back into reverse and Julie's
Michelle,
ready to show you.
Really quickly, I can just show the tart before it goes in the oven.
Yeah, perfect. Oh my gosh, Irene, that's amazing.
So she's ready to go. All right, we'll put it in. So we try and get it ready before everyone leaves tonight.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's gorgeous. Thanks for showing us that. I just actually took a quick screenshot as well. Perfect. Well, I've got 8 minutes to cook. So now we can go to Julie because I'm guessing her garlic and rosemary has finished sauteing.
It has. So I can't put my kids on mute. So, you know.
This is real lives, real kitchens, Julie.
I apologize in advance. It always seems to happen when I present. But I poured it out because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take. But it smells so good. So I actually can't wait to pop it on the pizza. And then my next step was basically to put water into my Thermomix and pop the 20 grams of olive oil. And the great thing about it is it hasn't asked me to clean my bowl, which is, I don't see why you need to because we're making the dough. So that's going to be really exciting that, you know, you've got all the garlic and the rosemary with the dough. So let's tear that first. Okay. 20 grams. Next, if I hit next, it's just going to heat that for 2 minutes, 37 degrees on speed 1. Okay, so when that does that, the great thing about the Thermomix now is, I might bring you just a little bit closer so you can see. Okay, hopefully you can see here. Is there's actually, can you see that? Hopefully okay. There is actually a preview button. So it's great if you want to prepare ahead. So if I clicked on preview here, it will actually ask me later after, you know, after it finishes that step to pop 350 grams of plain flour, half a teaspoon of fine sea salt, insert the measuring cup, and so on. So then that's going to knead it for 1 minute and 20 seconds. So once that's done, then I basically will roll them into balls. And I'm not sure whether, do you want to go through a little bit more, Michelle, or what would you like to do?
Sorry, I was just
away.
expecting my simmering basket. Yeah,
No, that's
we can have a chat. Let's share a screen and have a chat.
That sounds good. We always like to
Beautiful.
chat, don't we?
We do like to chat. So beautiful. So what I haven't shared with you guys yet, and I know I mentioned it for the customers who received the email, that the cutter is actually a host reward, which started at midday today. So how proactive are we doing this tonight? So the exciting thing about that is if you host, or not if, when you host from today till the end of February and have 2 guests there, you qualify to get a discounted price of a cutter. Now the RRP is $199. For hosting, you can access this for $159. However, if one of your guests purchase, we will reward you by giving it to you for free. Now, the exciting thing about this, sorry, I should have paused for the excitement to come through. But the exciting thing about this is that we do have stock at the moment. So we're getting shipments, regular shipments, and consultants got them first. So lucky us. But the people who are hosting will get them next. So they won't be available to buy on our mix shop until sort of April, May time. So that people who kind of go, oh, I'm just going to buy it, that's fine, but you're going to be waiting and you're going to have serious FOMO. Now, for those of you who are hosting, there's a big secret about hosting. You can do it more than once because we actually have quite a few amazing host rewards. So I've actually got a couple of them. I love it. Serious FOMO. A couple of them here with me to show you. So interestingly, Julie's probably going to show you this, so I won't talk about it for too long, but this is our amazing silicone bread mat, and you can actually access the bread mat duo. Now, this one here is the perfect size to line a baking tray, so no more foil or Glad wrap. I know a lot of my customers now talk to me about sustainability and being more environmentally friendly, and also huge cost savings. So, you know, if you're not buying those things on your weekly shopping bill, then it's reducing, right? The larger one, Julie's going to show you, so I'm not going to steal her thunder and talk about that anymore. One of the other things on our host reward list is our blade cover peeler. So yes, you can peel your potatoes and then use your slicer or cutter to slice your potatoes. There you go. You could have done it all today, Julie, with just the press of a button.
I could have. I'm feeling like, you know, like I'm missing out, really.
I love it. Is your kneading finished, or I know I'm still talking?
My kneading is finished right now.
Okay, perfect. And I'm just going to say that these are our incredible thermo servers. So I mentioned before that my family have got a one-pot wonder dinner tonight, and my other thermo server is sitting over there with their dinner in it. So this is an insulated dish, keeps food hot or cold for 2 hours, which means you can pop it in there and then people can come in and out and eat as required. So, or you might make dinner before school pickup, go to dancing or footy or whatever it is, and then come home and eat dinner. So lots of information there. Speak to your consultant. She'll give you she or he will give you all the details. All right, I'm going to stop talking now. Over to Julie.
No. Back to me. Now, I like to store my bread mats actually in a tea towel. So whenever I want to dry it or pop it away, because it gets a bit sticky, I just do this and I can just roll it up. And so it keeps it nice and dry. I can pop it and it keeps it, you know, dust free. But I mean, I really use it too frequently for it to collect any dust, I think. So I'm going to show you. I'll pop this down. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. And I'm going to show you just how easy it is. Okay. Right. I don't think I really need it, but then if you really need to, we do have our scraper. And that's the dough. How good does that look? Now, this one's quite easy to come out, but if you ever need to, if you give this part a little bit of a twist, okay, normally that can just make it a little bit easier for it to come out. And there we go. So just use my spatula. And if you really wanted to, you can actually pop the the bowl back in and use your turbo mode, which is basically it just goes from 0 to the maximum speed in like a second. And then that kind of normally just flicks everything, all the dough out of out of the blades. I need flour. So lucky I got that. So I'm just going to pop some flour. It's just going to ask me to tip out and lightly on a floured surface, which I've done. Okay, so split this in half. And look, I'm no baker, but the Thermomix makes life so easy that I feel like, you know, I could almost say I'm a baker. I'm a fake baker.
You absolutely call yourself a baker, Julie.
Can I call myself a baker?
100%.
You may not agree after you watch me roll this, but you know, I have a special talent on making things look a little bit more difficult, I think, than it really is.
We do have a rustic look though.
Pardon? I
We
do.
have a rustic
We love it. Yep. We always call it rustic. If it doesn't look pretty, it's a rustic look. So basically I'm just going to keep rolling it like so. I'm a bit limited in space, so I'll use whatever space I've got. Now the Mix Shop has this beautiful rose gold pizza tray. I've actually got it, but I don't use it often. And the only reason why is because with my oven, I can actually split it in half. And if I do the full one, if I only use half of my oven, it actually doesn't fit in there. So I've got my little trusty, these ones. These ones are fantastic as well. And so I'll just lightly flour and pop it like so. Apologies if it, you know, I'm offending any, you know, one that, you know, I'm not making it traditionally. Now, it'll ask me to get a fork and then basically just lightly poke holes here, like so. So basically, I'm basically going to do that for both of them. And then the steps will ask me to just bake this for 5 minutes. I think it's just to kind of get the dough cooking, just so it's not, you know, the potato doesn't make it, you know, soft. And then I'll take it out and then I will pop all the potato, cheese and the garlic oil. So while I'm doing that, shall we go back to you, Michelle?
Yes, please. Oh, that was actually really perfect timing because my chicken just finished cooking. Do you know, I love a flatbread as well because other breads need proving, whereas a flatbread is just knead it, throw it on a thing, cook it. It's so easy. So it makes life, you know, all of that time-saving stuff comes into play. So the chicken just finished cooking and I found my serving basket. I popped it on the top there. And what it asks me to do in the recipe is to transfer the juices to a bowl. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the lid off my bowl and pop the simmering basket in. So again, for those non-owners, the simmering basket is what I steam the rice in, but it's also got a bit of a spout that lines up with the spout of the jug. So it means that I can actually pour out, just put my camera down just so you can see that, pour out these juices, but the chicken will stay in the bowl. And I'm just using my spatula to hold it into place, because these juices are actually going to be used in the dressing later. So that's one of the things we love about the Thermomix is it's all very clever as far as not wasting anything, using everything, and quite intuitive as far as doing things in the right order as well. So pop that lid back on, insert the measuring cup. So I'm going to pop that on as well this time. And and then it's just 4 seconds on speed 4 to shred my chicken. Now it also does it in reverse. So what you get by doing it in reverse is shredding rather than mincing. Just let that happen. Beautiful. All right, so transfer to a bowl. So I have another bowl here ready to go. I just want you to see how perfectly that's I've got it under the light there, but how perfectly that's shredded. I've got the angle right. I'll show you when I've got it in the bowl as well.
That looks good.
Excellent. And the smell, it smells amazing because I use the sesame oil and the soy. So it's just really simple but beautiful flavors. That's the nice thing about a poke bowl, isn't it? Because it's a very clean thing to eat and you just have a few subtle flavors that make it really delicious. So it's my perfectly shredded chicken there. How good does that look? Right, so transfer to another bowl. I'm going to pop that back on. Now, Julie, I'll just keep going and you sing out when you're ready, okay?
Perfect. Sounds good.
Beautiful. All right, so the next part of this is it gets you to pop a bowl on top of your Thermomix. So the Thermomix has built-in scales that weighs in 1 gram increments. And what it asks you to do is pop the bowl on top and then add in your veggies. So you don't have to be weighing them when you're chopping them or grating them. So this is where the magic is going to happen. So this is carrots, avocado, cucumber, tomatoes, red onion, and lettuce. And that was everything. So then you set that bowl aside. Now, in the interest of sort of time for tonight, I have pre-done some of these things and I thought I'd leave. I noticed in the survey, a lot of people said carrots. A lot of people said cheese, but there's not cheese in my dish, so you'll have to have another demo to see cheese. But I thought I wanted you to see slicing, I wanted you to see grating. I'm also tonight substituting the red onion for a beetroot because I didn't have a red onion and I did have a fresh beetroot. And one of the things that really amazed me when we got to see the cutter is how finely you could grate beetroot, because I love beetroot. So, and there's lots of health benefits of eating raw beetroot as well. So if you like it and it's good for you, that's a bit of a win-win, right? So now it's saying insert the cutter. Are we ready? Actually, do you know what I'm thinking? Oh yeah, we've got plenty of time. I'll tell you what I'm actually going to do. Before I do that, just to give you a bit of an idea of how it works, I've actually got like a little 1-minute video and I'm going to play that first because that gives you a more comprehensive look and understanding, and then I'm going to show you as well. Everyone like that idea? Yes? No? Yeah. All right, here we go. But hey, if you can't see the video, sing out and we'll abort that idea.
I wonder how you can elevate the presentation and textures of your meals in no time and without extra effort. Imagine the endless possibilities of the new accessory Thermomix Cutter. One disc with 4 cutting functions that will broaden your Thermomix cutting experience.
Let's move to the side, Michelle.
Now, bring new
Yeah, it's
life
not-
to your fruits and vegetables at
not
the touch of
behaving.
a button. Just place Thermomix Cutter into the mixing bowl. Select the mode to grate thickly or thinly. A gentle tone.
Much better. No, that worked when you brought it back. So,
That's weird. So the full
It's
screen
weird.
doesn't work. All right, we'll just leave it here.
All you need to cut your vegetables, fruits, toppings, and garnishes in seconds with ease, and letting nothing go to waste. Then, simply turn over to slice thickly or thinly. Preventing contact between the cutting disc and your fingers, Thermomix Cutter is safe to use and easy to clean. Collect your cut preparations directly into the dedicated cutter basket without interfering with the cooking steps done in the mixing bowl. Broaden the chopping, shredding, and grinding possibilities of your Thermomix TM6 or TM5 with one single disc that offers 4 new cutting functions. Thermomix Cutter will expand your creativity, elevating the textures of the healthy food you prepare for yourself and your loved ones.
There we go. I just thought that showed a little bit more comprehensive than what you're going to see from me just now. But before I start, Julie, are you ready? Should I come to you? Looks like she's just pulled that out of the oven. So
I just took it out of the oven.
I'm keeping everyone on the edge of their seat. I'm holding out on them. All
I
right.
just cooked it out, and I'm pretty sure the reason why it's bubbly a little bit, and it's like I think it's bringing it in. I'm very excited. So I was doing a pre-clean with the dough while I was waiting, because that's the great thing about the Thermomix. So now it's going to ask me to sprinkle the reserve cheese. So I've got my Jarlsberg here. Very excited to try this. So this is the great thing about like all these recipes is I feel confident enough to really you know, for first time in front of everyone. So we do love our taste test, don't we, Michelle?
We love a live taste test, don't we?
We really do. And I wish I was in Irene's house today.
Me too.
Taste test her one, but never mind. That's okay.
It's all right. It smells terrible, you know, just to calm it down a bit.
It does. You know what? When I get my cutter, I can make it. It's okay. Now, normally, I'm pretty sure if I had my cutter, I would probably, you know, cut this straight away because it'll be so quick. It has browned a tiny bit. You can't really tell. But then I thought I didn't really want to soak it in water because I didn't want to put too much moisture on the potatoes when I laid them on the flatbread. So I think it still looks really good. I mean, like, it takes longer, but I think my cutting was okay. I did miss out on my delivery today because my husband took a little bit longer for his haircut. So I blame him that I had to hand cut this. But I figured that if I was going to get him to cut it, we'll end up with really thick slices. So I couldn't do that. And the next step is to ask me to sprinkle the oil on the potato. So obviously the rosemary and garlic's not getting on it, so I'll just scoop that after. But the oil can browns it, helps cook it. So I'll do this. I think we've made 3 very good dishes today, though.
I know, if we were together, we'd be having a lovely feast.
I think so. I think that's what we should have done, really. We just should have had a corner of a bench space in a house.
We'll do that next time.
We should do that next time.
I love the fact that, you know, we've got our pizza bianca recipe that does the garlic and rosemary, but I love the fact that garlic and rosemary is sauteed.
Yes, me too, because I must admit, when you saute like garlic and rosemary, like, it really brings the aroma a lot better and it really changes the flavour. I think it tastes so much better.
Yeah, I agree.
Sauteed garlic is so much better than, I think it's a little strong when you have raw garlic.
Yeah, and some people can't really stomach raw garlic, so having
that's correct. So that's all done. So all I need to do is basically pop that in the oven for 15 minutes and hopefully I can try it straight after.
Perfect. Just be careful. Don't burn your mouth when you're giving us a lunch.
No, we know that I have a habit of doing that.
Sometimes get right into it.
I know. I'll pop it straight in the oven.
Thanks, Jules. We'll see you shortly.
See you soon.
All righty. All right, I'm not going to hold out on you anymore. Okay, so I've got my rice here. So after I cooked it, it said to pop it in the varoma, run cold water over it to stop it cooking and pop it in the fridge. So that is ready to go. So insert the Thermomix cutter. So it is this simple. So what the cutter consists of is this shaft, which sits on top of your blade. So it just sits on top of the blade there. Then you've got this cutter basket. So that's what it's saying. It says insert the cutter shaft. So it is very self-explanatory. Then insert the basket. And then you've got the disc. Now, the disc looks like this. And as you saw in the video there, it goes straight in the dishwasher. So how cool is that? So, and what it has on one side, it says number 1. And on the other side, it says number 2. And you can see here, I think you can see there, you can see it's got thick and thin. So it's made it kind of really, easy to use. All righty. So the first thing that it's going to cut today is arrange the rice. That's telling me to put the rice on. Yep. So here we go, slicing. So we're going to put my rice in my bowl. So from a presentation point of view, because once I cut things, I need to, so it says this makes 4 bowls. So this will be lunch tomorrow for us. So I was actually quite happy that it was a sort of a cold salad because this will just go straight in the fridge and we'll have it tomorrow. Well, having said that, my kids always come out at the end of the demo and go, Mum, what did you make? Yum, can we eat that now? So it says to pop some shredded chicken on. A shredded chicken. about a quarter of that on. This will be my husband's lunch tomorrow. He's going to have a gourmet lunch at work tomorrow. Hey, pop that aside. So the first thing I cut was lettuce. Now I just did that by hand. So I was having to think today about when would I pull out the cutter? If all I had to do was cut a lettuce, I probably wouldn't pull out the cutter. So the things that I did by hand were the things that I went, people are probably just happy to cut those things the way they are. All right, so what's my next thing is the onion. So I'm not doing onion, so I'm going to skip past that one. You're going to see it in a minute, I promise. And tomatoes I've cut by hand as well because I'm happy to cut them by hand. Right, here we go. Cut a disc, back on cucumber. All right, we have liftoff. So side one facing up. So here we go. So I'm just sitting that on top of the sharp. So let me just show you what that looks like. So that's there, and that's just going to sit straight on the top there. So it just sits straight on top like that. All righty, and then on goes the lid. Now it just looks like a standard food processor. Here's the bit that pushes it down, and here is my cucumber. Now I just did sort of stripes in it because I thought it would look pretty. So I'm going to stick that in the top there. Place cutter lid on and cutter. So I've done that. All righty. So this is set for 15 seconds. I actually think it's probably going to take about 5. So here we go, and speed 4. I was wrong. It took 3. Are we ready? Are we excited? I can't see you guys. So is there any kind of stuff in the chat? Can you see that? I'm happy. If take yourself off mute and say wow, because I'm excited.
Wow.
Hey!
I'm very excited.
Wow. How's that, guys?
That's fantastic.
So I actually, when I was working out what I was going to do with the cutter and what I was going to do manually, I thought, do you know what? We have cucumber in a salad almost every night, and cutting up a cucumber is, it's not hard, but it takes time. Cutting up one tomato isn't that time consuming. So I kind of went, I'm just going to do that by hand. So how cool is that? So then it actually says to place some of the cucumber in the bowl as well. So I'm going to put that on the other side of the chicken there. Beautiful. Building. Right, so then next, arrange the cucumber in the bowl next to the tomatoes. Oh, hang on, my tomatoes are here. So this was my little bowl with some things still need to be cut, some things were cut. So there goes tomatoes, just pop those there. Right, place cutter with disc facing up. Let me just see what my next thing is. Avocado. Now again, I just pre-cut my avocado. So, because I'm serving this tomorrow, I'm actually not going to add it to the salad tonight. Sorry, guys. So not cutting the avocado now, transfer to the bowl. Right, this is side 2 facing up now. So now I'm going to remove this and flip it with side, oh, there's a little row bit of cucumber. I'm going to eat that.
No waste.
No waste. Side 2 facing up. So I'm just going to pop that on there. And as you can see in the picture there, so it said, it actually said 1 to 2 carrots, but my carrots were pretty little and we love carrots. So I'm actually going to do 3 and they fit in there. So if that was a big fat carrot, that wouldn't have fit in there. So I'm happy with that. Okay, here, this is what I did last time. You've got to take that bit out before you put your ingredients in. Right, here we go. Are we ready? Again, 15 seconds. How long, put in the chat, how long do you think it will actually take? Four. Love it. Beautiful. Now I have to show you this because I absolutely loved this when I did it last time. Now this is the thick grating. So this is almost julienne, if you have a look at that. How good is that? Give me another wow.
Definitely wow for me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a wow. Wow.
Otherwise, I'm just a crazy lady in a kitchen talking to herself.
You're still a crazy lady.
Well, that's true. And I own it, so that's all right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to do the beetroot. So I'm going to use the carrot setting, but I want that to be fine. Okay, so I'm going to change it to reverse for the fine grating. Make sure I take this bit out this time because, you know, it doesn't work if you just put it in the presser. Pop those in and do that again. Beautiful. Now, it actually does say in the instructions, you're not sort of jamming it down. You're actually just sort of gently holding it down and letting it do its natural thing. This blows my mind for beetroot. Who else likes raw beetroot? Okay. My lighting's not very good there. I feel like need that to be a bit further back. So I'm going to get my... Hang on, I'm just going to put it in my clear dish and then you'll be able to see it a bit better. There we go. Look how fine that beetroot is. Can you see that?
That's awesome, Michelle. Amazing.
Wow, that is incredible.
So as like one of the things I love in salads and in a salad sandwich, just generally, I love raw beetroot. It's one of those things that I just really enjoy. But if you've ever grated it, you look like you've just murdered somebody. It's not good. And it's messy. If you've got a white top on, you're sure to stain it. So that is something where I get out the cutter every time just to do the beetroot. So in fact, when I had the cutter on loan, I sort of went one morning to the kids, oh, I haven't got anything for lunch. And then I went, actually, I've got the cutter. I want a salad for lunch. And I literally just threw a few things through it and gave them a mixed salad for lunch. And one of them took a can of tuna to pour on it at lunchtime. So
Really good for beetroot chocolate cake.
ooh, yum. Yum, yum. So how cool is that? So they're the things that I'm doing in the cutter tonight. But hey, if you want to see more, talk to your consultant and have, you know, talk about a demo. One of the other things we're doing, just while we're talking about health, is pickling. So we've got this amazing cucumber and radish pickle, and you do like an apple cider vinegar. Dressing's not the right word, but for it to soak in. So fermenting, that's the word I'm looking for. So really, when we're talking about sort of that gut health, you can put a bit of that on, you know, your eggs at breakfast or on your dinner, and really, you know, improve your gut health with that kind of fermented vegetable pickle mixture. So that's one of the things that we are offering our demos, which is pretty exciting. I actually haven't made it yet, so I'm going to make it tomorrow. In fact, that just reminded me. So for those who don't own a Thermomix, our gift with purchase is an incredible container, airtight glass container, and I'm not describing it properly, with a vacuum seal. It comes with a vacuum seal, so you can completely take all the air out of it. So it keeps if you make the pickles or anything. We've actually had strawberries in it for 2 weeks and they were incredibly fresh, as fresh as the day we bought them. So check that out. Again, speak to your consultant because she'll give you more details. So the last step of this dish is the dressing. So now, I don't know if Janny's on tonight, but this recipe does say coriander. And now I do like coriander, but I didn't have any. And I'm a big believer in using what I've got. So what I did have was parsley. So I'm just using parsley. I've got all the ingredients in this bowl. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, some pepper, plain yogurt, and mayonnaise. Now, I've got to be honest, I probably should have washed my bowl, but I'm not going to. It's just got a little bit of chicken in there, but that's going to be in my dressing. So in that goes. Now, I thought about pre-making the dressing, but this dressing, and again, in the interest of no waste and incredible flavour, this dressing actually, remember earlier when I drained off the liquid from cooking the chicken? So I've got the soy and sesame, so mayonnaise, and then reserved chicken cooking juices, which is why I kind of went not cleaning the bowl isn't that big a deal. So in that goes. And it's 15 seconds on speed 4. So I'm also thinking in that time that those chicken juice bits will just sort of all emulsify into that. While we're doing that, I will keep arranging things on here. So I'm going to put a bit of mixing. Oh, 15 seconds goes fast, doesn't it? Bit of carrot. Oh, wow, look at that. Yum. So I'm actually, because that parsley, I actually had quite large parsley. So I'm actually going to do it again on a slightly higher speed just to chop up my parsley a bit. So that's the beauty of the Thermomix. It's a guided recipe, you're in control. So if you look at something and you go, I want to go back and do that again, or I want it a bit different, you can change it. You're in control. So I'm just going to do it for a few seconds. I reckon that'll be enough. Didn't need a lot. I just had quite big parsley leaves there. Yes, that's more what I want. Beautiful. I'm just going to pop that back in the bowl that it was in before. Again, you know, when you go to these poke bowl places and if you want an extra bowl of dressing, you pay like $3 or $4 for a tiny little tub with extra dressing in it. So how cool is it to do it yourself? Actually, do you know what? I will put a little bit of avocado on there because I just want to have the full visual for you. And I'm also using here the scoop from our kitchen toolkit. So some of you would be familiar with that. If you're not, ask your consultant how you might be able to get hold of one, because that just put that little bit of avocado in the middle there. So here's my poke bowl, and here's my dressing. How good does that look?
How cute is your little ladle?
Can I tell you the truth about this ladle?
Sure.
It's from an IKEA kids cooking set.
Love it.
And when the kids grew out of it and they didn't want it anymore, I kept the little ladles. There was 2 of them.
Perfect.
So yeah, I know, it's fun. So there you go. How good does that look? Oh, I've messed up my bowl. Hang on, I need to wipe the bowl. Presentation is everything. That's why you wear an apron, so you can wipe things on your apron.
Wow, Michelle looks amazing.
Yum.
Ugh.
Would it be wrong to have a second dinner? Nah. Not wrong at all. Now, how are you ladies going over there?
So
I think I just need a few minutes. 5 minutes.
me too. I just you can jump over, so I'll just talk about a couple of things before I pull it out of the oven. So I'll pull it out in a minute. So a few things. If you're new to your TM6, when you slide into your built-in functions, one is the pre-clean. So I literally filled my jug with about 1 litre of water. I added some dishwashing liquid and I ran the pre-clean cycle and haven't rinsed it yet, but it's a really good way. I actually love this function in the TM6. And the team, you know, you can get it in the it's not quite as good as I think in the TM5, but I love it in this one. Back to the recipe though. So the recipe asks for 750 grams of nectarines, and you can see I've probably got I should show you the size actually. So pretty good size. 2 would have been enough. So I think cut 2 decent sized nectarines. You've got smaller ones, maybe 3 before you cut that full 750. I don't think you need that much. The other thing in the recipe, it asks for I think 200 grams of apricot jam. We don't need a lot of jam in here, so I did buy this one today. It's the Bon Maman, I think, in the brand. This particular version has less sugar in it. Again, we don't eat a lot of jam, so I do like to use it for glazing, which is what I'm going to do. So let me get it out of the oven, which you can see over here. So it's looking pretty fantastic. And lower that down a bit so you can have a close look at it. She's probably, oh, actually, she's not bad. I think it's just air from the puff pastry. So grab yourself a brush. I think about half the jam is enough, and you're going to brush it. So this glaze is obviously going to add some sweetness and a gorgeous color to this tart. So you don't have to watch me doing this. You can come back and I'll show you the end. If we want to go over to Julie. Or you can all watch me brushing. I don't mind.
You can come to me. I just took one of them out the oven. I thought I'll try and cut it while no one's watching me because I know I'm going to make a huge mess. So I'll take the other one out of the oven quickly first. So give me a sec just so I don't burn it. So here we go. Look at that. I have one already cut. So I'm going to just sit this here. It's cool. Okay. There we go. I'll bring the camera down because we know what happens whenever we slide things, you know, especially when we're making soup.
A few of us ended up with soup on our laptops, haven't we?
We have been. So there we go. But you know, what's a class without, you know, taste test in it? So I hope karma I don't burn myself, but you know, it says serve warm or cold. So I don't know if that's a hint, you know, like in case someone burns themselves. So let me grab a small piece and hopefully it's cooled down. But look at that. You can see the beautiful rosemary.
Yum.
It smells really good. That's very good. It's not too hot. I'm glad I let that one sit a bit. That's really nice. So I'm actually glad I made that. Who would have thought potato goes well on a pizza or flatbread?
Do you know, I actually, at our kids' school, they did a pizza day because they've got a pizza oven outside. And that was one of the flavors. That was the first time I'd had potato and rosemary on a pizza. And same thing. I was like, I would never have thought to do that. And it is so delicious.
It's so good. You know, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're meant to eat it with, but I reckon like if you didn't make roti, this would go well with a dal. I don't know. I'm calling this in two different cultures together.
I think maybe a salad to counteract all the carbs, a bit like the dessert. I don't think you can have salad with this though. I think this needs more ice cream and cream.
Yeah. They call that fusion when you mix two different cultures.
That's right, guys. I'm not going to do what Julie did. It's far too hot for me to cut and even try, but it looks amazing. It smells incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
Really easy, really easy.
That tart looks delicious. Really
So good.
That's a crowd pleaser. Who's going to eat all that, Irene?
Well, it's going to the office tomorrow, so we'll probably have a bit of a bite with Mum tonight, and then the rest, everyone in the office will get a piece tomorrow.
There's a few people want your address.
Yeah, sure, come over. I don't mind. I did offer Boone. Boone, you coming?
Love it. Thank you so much for presenting tonight, Irene, and showing us that dish. Because the other thing I love about these classes is that we all look at different things. We've all got different backgrounds and cook different things. So then we inspire each other to try things like, oh, that recipe wouldn't have been on my radar, but now that you've made it, I'm like, oh, I want to make that. So, you know, I thank you for inspiring me to do that as well. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. So we've seen all the food. And I just wanted to, I actually went and grabbed, I should have actually used this as my clear dish, but I actually just pulled it out of the box because I only just got it. So this is the vacuum seal, and this is the wand. I struggled to get the box open there, but here we go. That's because I was being a little bit silly and trying to pull it out the wrong way. But it's a rechargeable wand. Looks like a big texter. And there's a little on the top there. It just sits on the top there and goes shoo, and sucks all the air out. So this is valued at $99.95, and this is our current free gift with purchase. So it's a really beautiful item. We've just recently got it, and it works really well with this time of year, particularly with all your salads and fresh things. So thinking about going back to school in a couple of weeks, one of the dreaded things about going back to school is school lunches. So imagine on Sunday night, doing all of that chopping and shredding and having it sitting in your vacuum seal container, and then in the morning or the night before, whenever you make your lunches, throwing it in the sandwiches or the salad bowl or whatever, and then off to school. How good is that? So yeah, this is a really great item. So most team leaders have got them. I think a few of the consultants have got them now too. So if you do want to see one at a demo, let your consultant know, and she'll see if she can get hold of one to show you. She or he, we have got a few men out there. So I guess that's it. I feel a bit sad to say goodbye because I'm so excited, but you know, this is my yummy, I'm about to eat this. If the kids don't get in first. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to those who actually did invite guests and hosted tonight. I know I've got Paige and Reagan. Thanks for inviting your friends along tonight. And any questions, please reach out to me. For those of you who hosted, thank you. Be in touch with your consultant to arrange host rewards. And for those who would like to host, please reach out to your consultant, because this really exciting thing now is that although COVID is not over, we've certainly come a long way, and we are really excited and love coming to your homes and cooking around the bench. And I think actually, just in light of the banter tonight, I think the next one of these we do, the three of us all just need to be at the same bench. 3 Thermomixes lined up, because then we'll have a little party afterwards and eat all the spoils. So thank you. Speak to your consultants if you want to host. I will send you information tomorrow and the recording from tonight, so if you do want to watch any of it, because I know I'm speaking a million miles an hour, and it's just because I'm so excited. So maybe, you know, most people watch Zoom on fast, maybe watch me on slow, and then you'll pick it all up. All right, good night, everybody. Oh, I'll tell you what, we've done a really good time tonight as well. Well
I think
done.
we've done very well with time.
Thanks, Julie and Irene. Thanks, Mandy, for manning the chat. And just thanks to the team in general for all the support and awesome comments tonight. Mwah! Have a great 2023. We can't wait.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.